In this video, we'll break down exactly why engines burn oil, the mechanical paths that allow oil to enter the combustion chamber, the warning signs most drivers miss, and the diagnostic tests mechanics use to identify the real cause. What burning oil actually means. Oil is designed to lubricate the engine, not burn inside it. In a healthy engine, oil stays within the lubrication system and the crankcase. The only place it briefly interacts with the combustion chamber is as an extremely thin layer on the cylinder walls. That microscopic layer reduces friction between the piston and the cylinder surface. Piston rings regulate this film very precisely. As the piston moves up and down, the oil control ring scrapes excess oil off the cylinder wall and returns it to the crankcase, leaving behind only a trace layer for lubrication. That film is so thin it does not burn in any measurable amount. Oil burning begins when that balance is disrupted and oil enters the combustion chamber in quantities large enough to ignite during the combustion process. Once inside the cylinder, the engine treats oil like fuel, but unlike gasoline, motor oil is not designed to burn cleanly. Its heavier molecular structure and additive package cause incomplete combustion, producing a distinctive blue or bluish-gray exhaust smoke. Burning oil also leaves behind carbon deposits that gradually accumulate on piston crowns, spark plugs, valves, oxygen sensors, and even the catalytic converter. Over time, these deposits interfere with efficient combustion and accelerate wear throughout the engine. Oil can reach the combustion chamber through several mechanical pathways. One of the most common routes is past the piston rings. When rings wear out, lose tension, or become stuck due to carbon deposits, they no longer scrape excess oil effectively. Oil remains on the cylinder wall in larger quantities and gets pulled upward into the combustion chamber during engine operation. Another pathway involves the valve stems. Each intake and exhaust valve moves inside a guide in the cylinder head, and a small rubber seal around the valve stem prevents oil from leaking into the intake or exhaust ports. As these seals age and harden, oil from the valve train area can slowly seep down the valve stems into the combustion chamber. This typically appears as a brief puff of blue smoke during startup, because oil has pooled overnight while the engine was off. The crankcase ventilation system can also allow oil into the intake stream. The positive crankcase ventilation system removes blow-by gases from the crankcase and routes them back into the intake manifold to be burned. Under normal conditions, it carries only vapor and a light oil mist, but if the PCV valve sticks open, hoses clog, or crankcase pressure increases, the system can begin pulling liquid oil directly into the intake manifold. That oil then enters the cylinders and burns during combustion. Turbocharged engines add another potential entry point. A turbocharger's shaft spins on a pressurized film of engine oil, and seals keep that oil from leaking into the intake or exhaust housing. When those seals wear or fail under high heat and pressure, oil can leak into the intake airstream or exhaust housing, where it eventually burns inside the engine. It's important to understand that some oil consumption is considered normal. No engine seals perfectly, and a very small amount of oil inevitably enters the combustion chamber during operation. Because of this, manufacturers specify acceptable oil consumption limits. These limits vary depending on the engine design. Some General Motors engines consider 1 quart every 2,000 miles acceptable, while certain Toyota and Hyundai engines historically allow roughly 1 quart every 1,000 to 1,200 miles under specific conditions. High-performance and turbocharged engines may consume slightly more due to higher operating stresses. By checking the oil level periodically and noting how much oil disappears between intervals, drivers can establish a consumption pattern. When oil loss exceeds the manufacturer's acceptable range, it strongly suggests oil is entering the combustion chamber through a mechanical fault. Symptoms. One of the most obvious signs of this process is the color of the exhaust smoke. When motor oil burns, it produces a blue or bluish-gray haze because partially burned oil droplets scatter light differently than normal exhaust gases. In many cases, the smoke appears only under specific conditions, and those conditions often reveal where the oil is entering the engine. A short puff of blue smoke during startup is a classic sign of worn valve stem seals. When the engine sits overnight, oil slowly seeps past the seals and collects inside the combustion chamber. Once the engine starts, that oil burns immediately and produces a brief cloud of smoke before clearing. Smoke during hard acceleration often points towards worn piston rings or cylinder walls. When the throttle opens and cylinder pressure rises, oil from the crankcase can slip past weakened rings and enter the combustion chamber. The result is a visible blue haze when the engine is under heavy load. If blue smoke becomes constant during both idle and driving, the problem is usually more severe. If smoke becomes noticeable during deceleration after lifting off the throttle, high intake vacuum may be pulling oil down worn valve guides. Paying close attention to these patterns can narrow the list of potential causes significantly. Continuous burning oil can indicate heavily worn piston rings, a malfunctioning PCV system pulling oil into the intake, or leaking turbocharger seals. Burning oil also produces a sharp, acrid smell that many drivers recognize immediately. Sometimes the odor is strongest outside the car, especially when idling or parking in enclosed spaces. In other cases, it enters the cabin through the ventilation system. Oil that leaks onto hot components like exhaust manifolds can create smoke and odor even if it never reaches the combustion chamber. As oil burning progresses, it can begin affecting engine performance. Oil entering the combustion chamber coats spark plug electrodes and forms heavy carbon deposits. This can lead to rough idle, hesitation, misfires, and gradual power loss. If the oil level drops too low, internal components may also begin producing ticking or knocking sounds due to reduced lubrication. Warning lights may eventually appear as well. A low oil pressure warning indicates the lubrication system is struggling to maintain pressure, which can quickly lead to serious engine damage. The check engine light may also illuminate if oil contamination causes misfires or affects emission sensors. Fuel economy may decline as combustion efficiency drops. Spark plugs removed during maintenance may appear wet or heavily carbonized. Intake components may show oily residue if the PCV system is drawing oil vapor into the air intake. Engines consuming oil rapidly, such as a quart every 500 miles, should be repaired soon to prevent further deterioration. Mild consumption within manufacturer's limits may simply require careful monitoring. The first thing to confirm is whether the oil is actually being burned internally or simply leaking externally and disappearing without being noticed. One simple way to check this at home is by placing a clean piece of cardboard under the engine overnight. If oil drips appear by morning, there is an external leak somewhere along the oil pan, valve cover, cam adjuster seal, drain plug, filter housing, gasket surfaces, or rear main seal. If nothing appears on the cardboard but the oil level still drops over time, the oil is more likely entering the combustion process. For situations where leaks are difficult to locate, ultraviolet dye added to the engine oil can reveal the source. Under a UV light, even tiny oil traces become visible along gaskets, hoses, and engine components. Once external leaks are ruled out, the next step is to measure oil consumption accurately instead of guessing. A proper oil consumption test begins by filling the engine oil to the full mark on the dipstick after an oil change. The vehicle is then driven normally for about 1,000 miles. During that period, the oil level should be checked weekly with the engine cold and parked on level ground. Recording the mileage and the amount of oil added creates a clear log of consumption rate. That number can then be compared with the manufacturer's acceptable limits. The PCV valve is one of the easiest components to inspect and one of the most commonly overlooked causes of oil burning. In many engines, the valve can be removed in seconds. When shaken, a healthy PCV valve usually produces a faint rattling sound as the internal pintle moves freely. If the valve is silent, stuck, or clogged with sludge, it may not be regulating crankcase pressure properly. At the same time, the hoses connected to the system should be inspected for oil accumulation. Excessive oil residue inside the intake tubing or throttle body often indicates that oil mist is being pulled through the ventilation system and into the engine. Another quick test involves briefly loosening the oil filler cap while the engine is idling. A slight vacuum or gentle suction is normal, but strong whistling or pressure pulses can indicate abnormal crankcase pressure behavior. When visual observations are no longer enough, mechanical testing provides more definitive answers. A compression test is one of the most widely used diagnostic tools. During this test, each spark plug is removed and a pressure gauge is installed in the spark plug hole. The engine is then cranked while the gauge records the peak compression pressure produced by each cylinder. Low readings can indicate that the combustion chamber is not sealing properly. To refine the diagnosis further, technicians often perform both a dry and wet compression test. The dry test is done first under normal conditions. Then, a small amount of engine oil is added into the cylinder before repeating the test. If compression rises significantly, typically more than 10 to 15%, the oil temporarily seals the gap between worn piston rings and the cylinder wall, suggesting ring wear. If the reading does not change much, the leakage may instead be occurring through the valves or valve seals. While compression tests provide useful information, a leak-down test offers an even more precise look at engine sealing. Instead of measuring pressure created by the engine itself, this test introduces compressed air into each cylinder while the piston is positioned at top dead center. Specialized gauges then measure how much of that air escapes and where it escapes to. If air is heard rushing into the crankcase through the oil filler opening, it indicates leakage past the piston rings. If the sound appears in the intake manifold, the intake valves may not be sealing properly. If it exits through the exhaust system, the exhaust valves may be leaking. The leak-down test not only identifies the leakage path, but also quantifies how much sealing loss exists as a percentage. Modern diagnostic tools allow technicians to go even further without dismantling the engine. A borescope, which is a small camera attached to a flexible probe, can be inserted through the spark plug hole to visually inspect the inside of the cylinder. With this camera, mechanics can look for vertical scoring marks along the cylinder wall, heavy carbon deposits on piston crowns, or signs of oil pooling in the combustion chamber. These visual clues can confirm whether piston rings are worn, cylinders are damaged, or deposits are interfering with normal operation. Professional diagnostic procedures sometimes include manufacturer-specified oil consumption tests as well. These tests follow strict guidelines involving sealed oil systems and carefully measured driving distances to determine whether the engine exceeds factory limits. Technicians may also inspect turbocharger compressor housings, intercooler piping, and intake manifolds with a borescope to look for oil accumulation that indicates failing turbo seals. Repair and fix. Once the root cause is confirmed, the repair process becomes straightforward. Start with the simplest components and move towards the internal engine if necessary. If the issue points to the PCV system, the first step is replacing the PCV valve and inspecting the ventilation hoses. The old valve is removed, the hoses are checked for clogging or oil sludge, and any brittle or collapsed hoses are replaced. In some engines, the oil separator or PCV housing may also need replacement. The job usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes with basic hand tools. To replace the valve stem seals, begin by removing the valve cover and accessing the valve springs. On some engines, the cylinder head must be removed from the engine, but on many designs, mechanics keep the head installed and hold the valves closed using compressed air through the spark plug hole or a rope inserted into the cylinder. The valve springs are compressed with a spring compressor. The old seals are removed and new seals are installed before reassembling the valve train. Because each cylinder must be serviced individually, the work takes several hours. If testing shows worn piston rings or cylinder wear, the repair requires engine disassembly. The engine is removed or partially disassembled in the vehicle, the oil pan and cylinder head are taken off, and the pistons are removed from the block. The cylinder walls are inspected and measured. If wear is moderate, the cylinders are honed and new piston rings are installed. If wear exceeds tolerance, the block must be machined and fitted with oversized pistons. For turbocharged engines where oil is entering through the turbocharger, the repair involves removing the turbo assembly and inspecting the shaft play and oil seals. Most modern repairs involve replacing the turbocharger as a complete unit rather than rebuilding it. The intake pipes and intercooler are often cleaned to remove accumulated oil residue before installing the new turbo. Sometimes the repair is simpler because the smoke is caused by oil leaking onto hot engine parts rather than entering the cylinders. Common repairs include valve cover gaskets, oil pan gaskets, and oil filter housing seals. For engines that are aging but still running acceptably, some owners choose temporary measures instead of major repairs, switching to high-mileage oil, using seal conditioners, or running cleaning additives may slightly reduce oil consumption for a period of time. These approaches do not repair worn components but can slow the rate of oil loss and delay major repairs. If internal wear is extensive, rebuilding the engine or replacing it becomes the final option. Ignoring the problem increases the risk of serious damage. Continuous oil burning contaminates the catalytic converter, lowers engine oil levels, and increases the chance of overheating or internal seizure. In severe cases, oil leaking onto hot exhaust components can even create a fire hazard.